He's like 7 years old now.
Yeah.
And he's been doing this for like 7 years. And before that, he had a St. Bernard that his whole house was covered in slobber. And I'm like, I deal with less animal mess than he does. All right, so these guys are all red kangaroos. But Max right there, this is Ruby, that's Max. Max is the only natural male here. Tom and Jerry right there, excuse me, are neutered males. The reason why we neuter most of the males is the normal family group for red kangaroos is 1 male, 50 females. So if you want to be the 1 male, 49 have got to go. And once you are the 1 male, every other one wants to take you out. These guys are perfectly friendly. You're welcome to walk around and pet them. So the redness of the red kangaroo, as I said, is a male hormone-driven trait. So how that works is the male has musk glands, and the musk glands exude a red fluid, and that red fluid spreads over him as he grooms himself, and that's what keeps the male bright red. So when you're trying to figure out when your females are being bred, you look when the females turn red, because the red is on the male, not in the male. So the redness rubs off of the male all over the female. That's how you know when the female is being bred. So these are all baby kangaroos. Let's talk baby kangaroos specifically. So kangaroo reproduction is a very, very unusual thing. The kangaroos, gestation for a kangaroo is 33 days, fertilization to birth. 33 days required. At 33 days, it gives birth to a baby the size of a jelly bean. That jelly bean-sized baby with no back legs and almost no tail has to crawl on its own up to its mother's pouch, latches onto its teeth, and does not let go even once for at least 90 days. I changed out the camel troughs last night, but the old troughs are up in the wash rack. I was thinking if we started washing them in the wash rack instead of out back, it could go down the drain instead of having out back all the time. Maybe. We'll just have to see how it works. So, baby crawls up to the mother's pouch, latches onto its teeth, doesn't let go even once for at least 90 days. During that whole 90 days, the mother is making something more similar to colostrum than milk, just a hyper-nutritious form of milk. At 90 days, the baby starts to nurse and release, nurse and release. At that point, the mother shifts over to making milk instead of like the colostrum type of thing. Baby continues in the pouch. First time it sticks its face out of the pouch is at 6 months. We do have one outside that has its baby just starting to poke its face out of the pouch. First time they jump out of the pouch is 7 months. So here in the next month, we ought to have a new baby on the ground. If you ever want to have friendly kangaroos, the only way to get them is to bottle feed them. And the reason more people don't bottle feed their baby kangaroos is it is prohibitively expensive. Like somewhere around $200 a day is what we spend feeding baby kangaroos. But it is the only way to get a friendly kangaroo. Most places that do bottle feed their kangaroos feed them to 10 months. Nutritionally, that's as long as they need it. We feed them to 16 months because the longer you get them to drink the bottle, the friendlier kangaroo you will have. So, our adults outside, you can still walk up to them, touch and pet and feed and stuff like that. So, that all sounds pretty normal, right? From there, it gets straight up weird. So, a kangaroo is a marsupial. Most, if not all, marsupials have 2 uteruses. Kangaroos, no exception to that. Kangaroo has 2 uteruses, but where a kangaroo is strange is after their first pregnancy, they are pregnant for the rest of their lives. They do have to be refertilized for every subsequent pregnancy, but when they give birth, it is something the size of a jelly bean, so it's not at all traumatic, and they generally breed back the same day. And since they're pregnant in both uteruses, they have overlapping pregnancies, so they will literally be pregnant every day of the rest of their lives. When the baby is born, back up, the mother, the mother kangaroos continually make a chemical that is similar to Pitocin, which is what you give to a human female to induce labor. Kangaroos make it basically all of the time. It takes about 2 days to build up enough Pitocin in the mother's system to induce labor. So when the baby crawls up and latches onto a teat, the act of nursing makes a second chemical that blocks the Pitocin. So it normally will not birth a second baby if it already has one nursing. If the baby does not make it to the pouch within 2 days, it's never going to. So after 2 days, it's built up enough Pitocin to induce labor. So fire 2, birth from the second uterus. So every time it births one, morning Kangaroo. Every time it births one, sorry, I had chemo 20 years ago, so allergies hit me in the lungs. I'm not contagious, I'm not going to get you sick. It's just annoying to listen to.
I work in the nursing home.
Yeah, most of them, anyway. So, if it doesn't make it to the pouch within 2 days, fire 2, birth from the second uterus, and so the second baby will come up and latch onto a teat. So every time it births one, it has 2 shots at one making it up and becoming a viable embryo. The babies, the exception to there being, so when a baby latches on, it makes a blocker on the Pitocin, they're entirely friendly. You can pet them, you can touch them.
I'm just afraid he'll scratch me. I don't know why.
Oh, he's good. So the latching on, making Pitocin. So when it latches on, it puts a blocker on the Pitocin. So it normally will not birth a second baby if it already has one nursing. And if you watch, when they walk, they always go front feet, back feet, tail. When they jump only on the back feet. So they refer to these as pentaped, which means 5-footed, because their tail does as much of the work in walking as any of the other 4 legs. Then when they're jumping, the tail is a counterbalance, so to turn to the right, they kick their tail out to the left, and vice versa.
Is that what
They do all the time. Yeah, so the kangaroos are prolific in Australia, but they proliferate by being prolific, not by being good mothers. If a female kangaroo were to have a mantra, that mantra would be live to have more. At all costs, live to have more. So if a kangaroo is being pursued by a predator and has a baby in the pouch big enough to slow it down, chuck the baby down for bait and ditch. Live to have more. If a female kangaroo is malnourished or dehydrated, throw the baby away and ditch. Live to have more. So how that helps them to survive a drought, because droughts are not all that uncommon in Australia, and if a drought starts, it can last for as much as a couple of years. So when the female kangaroos get malnourished or dehydrated, all of them will throw their babies away. Statistically, one male in a family group of one male, 50 females, so statistically the one male is not significant to the population number. So when the drought starts, all of the females throw all the babies away, 50 go into the drought. If half of them survive the drought, they go from 50 to 25. As soon as the drought, and they stop making Pitocin if they're malnourished or dehydrated, so they will not deliver it anymore until they're renourished, rehydrated. So throughout the drought, none of them birth any babies, so no increased demand on the mother's body, no increased demand on whatever food source remains. At the end of the drought, suppose 25 survive. Obviously, it's going to be the strongest 25, not the weakest. So they come out stronger by individual. As soon as the drought is over, they renourish, rehydrate. I skipped a step in this. So, remember I said when it births one, latches onto a teat, makes a blocker, right? Still got one in the second uterus. So what happens with that? So freeze frame, embryonic diapause. The baby will just freeze frame in utero, will not progress, will not regress, will remain exactly the way it is at 33 days. It can remain that way for days, weeks, months, or years. So then it gets pregnant pregnant back in uterus that did deliver and successfully have a baby. Slides on. 1 second. There you go. Give me 5 minutes. So, it gets pregnant again right away in the second uterus, and then when it reaches 33 days, it already has one nursing, so it's got the blocker on the pitocin. So now that one also is on embryonic diapause. So it's got 2 on deck all the time, ready to be delivered. As soon as whatever baby is currently nursing stops, that takes the blocker off the pitocin. 2 days later, deliver another baby, unless it's malnourished or dehydrated. So they go into the drought, say 50, maybe 25 survive the drought, be the strongest ones that survive. As soon as the drought is over, a drought in a desert place normally ends with extremely heavy rains. So the heavy rains make everything lush and green, and right away the kangaroos get renourished, rehydrated, so boom, they all deliver a baby. So now we've gone from 50 to 25, right back to 50. And then the exception to they only have one in the pouch at a time is that if the kangaroo literally becomes overweight, too high body fat content, it will double up the production of pitocin to bypass the blocker and boom, deliver a second baby. If the baby that is nursing in the pouch is already drinking milk, not the colostrum type of thing, the female, one tooth will start over with colostrum, while the first one continues to make milk. So that is the only animal I'm aware of that is capable of making 2 different products with its 2 teeth at the same time. So that means that when the drought is over, 50, 25, 50, they immediately all get overweight, and that boom, makes them deliver a second baby. So they go 50, 25, 50, now 75, because they all will deliver 2, because they're all overweight. So droughts essentially are a good thing for kangaroos. They come out stronger by individual, bigger in number than they were going in. All right, do you want to take over with the actual feeding the bottles? I got to run part of this building for a second. All right, this is Emma. I'm going to help you guys with the bottles.
You have our two new baby camels. This one is just a pretty small leaf. He's about 3 months old, roughly. And then this one, he's his name is Dose. Yeah. Because for like the 2 months on his back. And he's only about a month old. He's super, he had all personal faces. When we used to have him out in here, he just followed you right every step you made.
Sí, we haven't seen their Lola.
They had their bottles this morning too, so I don't, now he's gonna show him funny. He wants more, but he hasn't figured out his hay yet. He hasn't figured out how to eat that yet. I know, Ollie. I'll take it from you.
I think she needed a break there.
She might not want it, and if you want to offer it to one of the other ones, you can. They won't turn it down.
He's the smallest, right? Is he younger than all of them?
Max and Morgan, they are about the same, I'm pretty sure they're the same age. But he probably should grow.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab the 10 o'clock people and bring them in here.
So I need to wait to do all them till you're done.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And normally they like. That's where we live. You live there.
From 84 to 6 years ago. Oh, really? Yeah, see, I grew up there. Yep. So you would have known like the McCords or Paget's, any of those? Yeah. It was a good time. So you remember how small town was like, you know, no, no. But I was like, you know, pre-K kindergarten back then was everybody was in the same building. They're like, no way. I was like, yeah, it was. So, my dad was Dan Palmer, so he couldn't design all the neon scenes. Yeah. Yeah, so we lived at the airport. Yeah, until I was like 12. Yeah, yeah. It was fun. Oh yeah. I would help Casey work on his race cars and always go to the tracks with him. And which wasn't the worst, but I was like, it is, yeah.
What are the chances?
Alrighty.
Sorry, I'm grabbing stuff.
No, you're fine.
Dakota's.
You are all good.
Thank you.
Teresa
baby.
came in to help out and feed some animals. Go ahead and come on in, guys. And then up above there
Oh
is
my
the sloth.
goodness.
Now, can I take pictures?
You can take as many pictures and videos you want. The main rules are don't put your fingers in his mouth.
Yeah.
Don't put your fingers in my mouth.
Alright.
Dang.
So we're just gonna have some ground rules here, and then when you pet him, we want to do long, slow strokes. Don't do the cat scrunch
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
He doesn't like that, and he'll just ball up and be like, "Nope, I don't want you."
Aw,
So what we're feeding them is squash, zucchini, sweet potato, and green beans.
nice.
Sometimes he's a little picky about each individual one. Let's see, this is what it's gonna kind of look like. See, he's like, "Oh, so that was great." As soon as it's in his mouth, let it go.
Okay.
And give it a whirl. Just make sure we're all on the same page. I don't think you guys want to lose any fingers, but
Mm-mm.
they do have teeth. We don't pull their teeth. There are some crazy places out there that pull sloth's teeth. There you go.
There we go.
And this whole bowl is for you guys to feed. And just once he finishes chewing something, then you can do another one.
Okay.
And then I'll just bore you guys with a bunch of awesome facts about it.
Sure.
I'm gonna move this cameras just a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find out about us?
Online on TikTok.
Cool. I just like to see what's working.
You don't want the carrot?
Smell it.
Go ahead.
You got the 10 o'clock swap inside.
I do. They're from Dawsonville, so we're talking about Bill from Dawsonville.
Awesome, Bill. I'll be there in a few minutes. I'm just telling the builder where to put this next building.
No rush. Alright, so he is a two-toed or two-fingered Linnaeus sloth. The reason that you do not see three-toed or three-fingered sloths is they require the leaves of the Sarcopia tree. Sarcopia trees do not natively grow in North America. They're trying to start a grove of them in Florida, but when people try to bring in three-toed, it does not go very well. And the reason you hear me saying three-fingered versus toes, like everybody always normally says, is the sloth community and vets and everybody else is trying to get everybody into saying fingers, because it's really not like they have 4 feet.
Right.
They have hindquarters and front quarters, and regardless if it is a two-toed or three-toed or fingered, whatever you want to call it, it's the same number of teeth back, no matter what. They all have 3. It's just the 4 limbs that are different.
Ah,
Pretty neat.
nice. Well, now what's this one's name?
His name is Flash.
Flash.
And then we have a Dash, and we
Yeah.
have a Zoe.
We get to meet Zoe, I think, next.
That's right. And I already gave her a bunch of snacks because she is a snacker.
Is she?
She hasn't had food, she is all over the place. You're like, are you a sloth or a monkey?
We did we went to, where was that we did the sloth encounter at, in Pine Mountain in Georgia, South Georgia?
Oh, okay.
Pine
We
Georgia,
went-
whatever.
Yeah.
It's the safari.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that like you drive through it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's
Yeah.
okay, you can leave it there. It's okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
We went through twice, but they had a sloth experience, but you are only allowed to watch them.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
not touch them, so this is my dream to be able to hold one. I can't wait.
So when Flash came here, he came to us from a facility where he was just always behind a glass, never interacted with, never fed or anything. So it took about 2 years of just feeding him every day at around 10. And now he comes down and he gets really excited and he bangs on the window like
Does
this.
he? Oh my goodness.
But he really does. Like this morning, I didn't even open the door yet, and he was already like smushing his nose when I was letting him down. So his enclosure is right here,
Yeah.
and it is actually 2 stories tall.
Oh, wow.
So it goes all the way up. So the unit up above us called the camel condo. It has
Uh-huh.
big windows so you can see him. And then also when it's warm, 75 to 80 degrees or higher, he can go outside.
Oh.
So we set up a stick so he can go all the way outside.
Because they're natural in what? The Amazon or?
No, they're naturally like Costa Rica, Honduras,
Okay.
things like that. Yep.
Okay.
Now, a really, really long time ago when we had giant sloths, they are part of the reason that we have avocados. So they would dig tunnels, and you'll find at the end of the tunnels there's huge groves of avocado trees because they were so big they would ingest those giant seeds, right?
Okay.
Too big for most animals. And then they'd go through their system, and sloths, I don't know if really old sloths are the same, but now sloths, it takes them a month to digest their food.
Golly.
Yep. They only use the bathroom every 7 to 10 days.
Ouch.
but when they use the bathroom, they lose 30% of their body weight. So imagine if you weighed 200 pounds, losing 60, our plumbing would not be able to handle
Right.
it. It would not be good. But part of the reason that that happens is for the sloth moth symbiosis. So when he comes down out of the tree and gets his booty all the way on the ground, he gets all the way down, does like a little potty dance, for real, it's awesome. We managed to catch a couple times.
Oh my
He gets all the way down and then that sloth moth crawls up onto him and lives in his fur. Okay, so he goes back up in the tree, and then when he's grooming himself, he gets the material from the sloth moth, the algae and everything that's living on his fur, and then he ingests that. So that bacteria is what gives him the capability to actually process his food.
Really?
Exactly, yep. We process our food through an enzymatic process. They use bacteria. So when they come back down from the tree, the sloths that were on them then leave, go back into the poop pile, lay more eggs, and they start the whole cycle over again. There you go, he's hanging down. That's a good picture.
Oh, did it, Alan? Oh.
I got it.
Do you want me to grab the phone and get a picture of both of y'all?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Here you go, sir. There you go.
Sweet.
And you can get right beside him.
He's trying to get close.
He runs his hand through my hair, like
Does
when I'm
he?
up underneath him. You can get really close so we can get both of you in the front.
Oh,
There you go. Now look at me and say, I like sloths.
I like
There you go. Flash. There we go.
He's wanting the food.
There we go. We got a bunch.
Awesome,
go,
thank
baby.
you.
You're welcome.
Baby. Aw. Did you feel his fur?
Yeah, that's what I was from.
And it's remarkably soft, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
I think it's, well, somebody told me it feels like troll doll hair, which I don't remember
I
what
don't
that
know.
feels
Oh,
like.
yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
troll-
the whole troll dolls
yes.
from the 80s. It does, kind of. Yeah, no.
I always say it feels between our regular hair and beard hair. You know, it's
Uh-huh.
like just between
Uh-huh.
those two.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
right in between.
Uh-huh. And we don't wash him at all or anything. That is
No?
him grooming himself.
Oh, wow.
Which you can tell because sometimes he leaves a little bit of accent on his backside. But Zoe, because
Must
she
be
is
full.
100% okay, we just bathe her off like her little bottom. Because she's a baby. He's getting into it now. Yeah, keep feeding him. We're trying to let him gain some weight. So whatever he wants, he can have. So in terms of fruit, we only feed him a little bit of fruit every day, and the reason for that is fruit has fructose, right, which
Right.
is sugar.
Mhm.
If you feed him too much sugar, it spools up that bacterial growth, and so he could get the runs. It is not like having a dog or a horse or anything like that. You're like, oh, eat some hay and here's some food. It's like, let's watch your diet and see what your poop's doing all the time.
Really?
Oh yes.
See, that's why I'm called an exotic animal. I take special care.
So did you stay in Dawsonville the whole time?
Since I grew up?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I left, after high school, 3 days later, I went into the Navy
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Uh-huh.
And then when I got out, when I got out, we lived in Sugar Hill
Yeah.
for about 8 years, and then we basically moved back up to
Yeah.
Dawsonville. So now we live like just down the road from the courthouse.
Oh yeah.
So I live right there in Perimeter Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Old perimeter road.
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
the Rainhill subdivision.
Oh, that's cool.
So I like it, it has grown, but it's
Oh, yeah.
beneficial because,
You don't want that one? How about this
it's beneficial because you don't have to go all the way to Gainesville or Cumming
Oh,
just to
man.
shop like we used to,
Yeah.
Because when I was there, Looper's store was about the
Uh-huh.
only thing you had.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, actually, you probably remember my grandparents' restaurant, Lola's Country Kitchen.
Yes.
Okay.
That was my grandparents.
Oh.
Yeah.
How
That's
about that?
that's actually how my mom met my dad
Yeah.
because he was on the race team and he would come into the restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah. I love my grandparents opened another restaurant up in Tennessee and I was like, I tell people, I was like, it's like a 3-meat, that kind of thing, but I was like, it was so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many of those places around.
No.
We ate at Ruby's for breakfast this morning. Look at there.
It's
honey.
pretty good. I think Ruby's is alright. Sometimes a little slow, but it's pretty good.
It was good.
It was good because there wasn't a ton of people.
Oh,
up
that's
there,
good,
so.
yeah. The raft crowds haven't rolled in yet.
There you go.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was actually talking to Audra Townley the other day. I'm sure you remember Seth.
Seth Townley, you went
Yeah.
to school with?
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
Seth
because
and
you're just right above me.
Seth and Shelley.
Yep.
Oh, so what?
I was in Audra's class.
Oh, see, my sister Daphne,
Uh-huh.
she graduated in '90.
Right, okay, yeah, so
So,
she's even older.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, so Seth and Shelley both, I actually I haven't seen either one in a while, but I ran into him, at a football game for
Yeah.
a friend of ours. But yeah, both of them,
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah.
Because I always meet people that are like kind of from that, around there, but they didn't grow up there, and it's
Yeah.
not like there were a lot of people there back then.
Oh, yeah. Usually, it just happened to work out that way, as most of the people during that era were the ones that were well known, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, the Townleys and the Loopers and the
Mhm.
Elliots, and they were all around our time frame.
Yep.
You know, the graduating classes right around the 90s. Now it's very diverse, which isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing up there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, a lot of the Indian community now.
Well, that's good.
Indian from like Asia. Indian,
Right, yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. Beneficial. So it's been great.
Yeah,
Change.
we lived at the engine shop until I was 12, and then we moved out to the lake,
Yeah.
like Kylo Church Road area.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
bet
it's
he don't
hidden.
like his belly rub, does he?
No, he will be like, no, but you can keep feeding him.
And it's interesting because most of the time we just tell people, hey, you know, usually in that, you know, we don't say Dawsonville. 'Cause
Yeah.
We usually say North Georgia, just above Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
What's he doing,
It's
trying to
weird.
take it himself?
He has horrible vision.
Oh, he can't see nothing,
Uh-uh. But, so because you have two objects, he just can't decide.
can't decide.
Uh-uh.
Take this one, take that one, darling.
And if he doesn't want to eat that, just switch to a different vegetable.
Mhm.
And occasionally, he even will smell one green bean and be like, don't like the way it smells, and you gotta rotate
Eat
through
the
it.
next one.
Yep. And there's certain brands that he's not a fan of.
Oh,
So,
that's just like a human.
yep. So they have rod monochromacy. They don't see in color at all, and they have a very narrow field of vision. So if you put like both hands over your eyes like a scope or something like that, that's how narrow they see. And then it's very hazy, no color. So that's a lot of reason that they're like, oh, they're sleeping. And I'm like, no, they're kind of comfortable and they're just closing their eyes because they barely work. And they're just listening and smelling.
So I'll get one dead on right here, laying down.
Their ears are the same size proportionate to their size. They're just hidden just
Where are they at?
because he has long hair. He won't let us play with his.
Yeah.
Only have Zoe will, but they're just right here.
Oh,
Zoe will let us while we're probably feeding her. But if I do it with him, he's gonna pull up, and I want him to stay down for you guys.
yeah.
So they get overstimulated very easy, right?
Yeah, and it's just their defense mechanism, whether it's born in or they're like, they know that, hey, I'm not fast. My goal is to be really, really quiet, really, really slow, and avoid detection. Another really cool feature they have is they can slow their metabolism down to only 300 calories per day. They do not enter a state of hibernation or torpor, but if their body temperature goes too low or too high, they just start shutting stuff down. They're excellent swimmers, and there's been reports of them holding their breath up to 30 to 45 minutes, which
Really?
when I initially heard, I was like, it's kind of longer than a dolphin. I don't know if I agree.
Right.
But if you can slow your metabolism down to 300 calories a day, I'm like, well, okay,
Maybe.
I'm not going to test it, but I'll go with it.
Maybe.
The three-toed or the three-fingered, they have a little bit different spine and vertebrae. They'll have the 4 vertebrae sticking off, actually acting like a tail. And so when they come down and do their little bathroom break, they get even more bugs all over them because they're like sticking their tail in the mess, right?
Oh.
But a reason that that's good is their hair actually has microscopic cracks in it. So algae and different things actually grows in their hair. And there's been a lot of research on whether there's some really cool medicinal uses for that because it's growing inside the hair itself. It's not growing on top of the hair, it's growing inside it, so you get like a whole
Interesting.
different thing going on.
Yeah, I've seen pictures with like, it looks like they got like algae on them.
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever.
And people are like, oh, I want to hold a wild sloth. And I was like, first of all, would you hold even just a wild dog? No, so don't do that.
Good point.
You know, a lot of people are like, I want to do that. I'm like, you wouldn't walk up to Fluffy who's
Right.
lived out wild and be like, I'm going to pick you up. I'm
And
like,
even going down through here was like, we better not until someone
Yeah.
tells us to.
Yeah.
Touching
Do
any
not,
of them
'cause-
until.
yeah.
Because like you said, you never know.
So the reason Costa Rica says that it's illegal to hold any kind of sloth ever is what happens is you have people in the area that are economically depressed, right? They need some money. They realize that, oh, this person can make this. They see cruise ships coming in with thousands of people. They go into the jungle, grab a sloth, dip it in bleach, so it's clean,
Okay.
and then they let everybody touch it for a minute apiece for $20, and they make a ton of money. Sloth dies a month later,
Oh.
because you've just killed off the whole biome.
Oh.
I gotta work on not saying the bad words because we get banned all the time. Like if you say the KILL word or.
Yeah, got it.
But that's the reason Costa Rica is like, no, never hold a sloth because it's very difficult for them to police the entire community. But we do partner with them and we do donations with them because they do a really good job of tracking the sloths and actually trying to count them. The person that we got Zoe and Dash from, he is a veterinarian and has been working with sloths for over 30 years. And his first sloth was a sloth that was injured and could not go back to the jungle. So his whole idea is kind of like the white rhino idea. If they didn't have white rhinos being bred in captivity, we would have no more white rhinos because they just killed them all. See, I just said it again. Right? It's hard. You're like, oh, that's just what you normally say.
Right.
So that's the reason Costa Rica gets a little bit like, no, you're holding sloths. I'm like, this is different. And we always tell people, because a lot of people are like, hey, can I go get a sloth? Is it possible in some states? Yes. But if you see a sloth that costs more like a bicycle versus a car, that means someone stole the sloth from somewhere.
Right. And I would imagine it would be very difficult to take care of one.
It's,
because of all the things you said.
John and Donna have been at different places before and then talked to people and they're like, I'm gonna get a sloth. And they're like, and then they say, what do I need to know? And that's a key indicator, meaning you shouldn't get one if you're asking. And
Because
you're
you haven't already researched.
Exactly,
Yeah.
not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's like you don't get in a car and hit the gas and be like, I need to figure out how to drive.
How to drive,
That's
right.
not gonna work.
Exactly.
So that was John that would just walked out right before you, right? Was he down here?
The guy with the gray hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The same
Okay.
playing soccer.
I figured he
Yeah.
stopped and talked to us for a little while, and I
Uh-huh.
said, I think that was the guy, because that's what I was reading as I was looking at the website
Yeah.
and starting to read his story there.
Oh, goodness. Do they hear fun?
Yes, the hearing's exceptional. Like,
Okay.
especially Zoe, if she hears like a chair scuff or something and she's holding on to you,
Startled.
she'll pull in tight. Flash will be like, well, I'm gonna go back into a ball and see. Is that all the bowl? Is that the whole
Yep.
thing?
Yeah.
He ate the
Yeah.
whole thing.
That's good. 'Cause
Finished
He's
it up.
been a little picky lately.
He ate the whole thing.
Let's see how we're doing. Oh, cool. We saw him a while.
Hi, baby. Hi. Do you like to be rubbed? Does he like the attention,
As long
or
as
is
it's
he not?
long and slow.
But if he pulls up like that, that means he's uncomfortable.
Well,
with it?
he kind of's like, I'm gonna chill up here for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, quit
And we
touching.
never try to push it too far.
No, you don't want to make him uncomfortable.
We are gonna change this setup to where it's more of a loop, because I don't think that he likes feeling stuck, so I wanna give him option
Oh,
to
yeah.
kinda like
Uh-huh.
go around. And he just comes out here on his own. A lot of people are like, oh, do you pick him up or anything? Nope. I just see that little tiny piece of trim,
Uh-huh.
that's all he needs. And so he just reaches out from the other side right here, gets that on there. He heard that noise, that's what it was. So he was like, are you opening the door, are you getting
Are
food?
you letting me back in?
He is on it all the time. His hearing is great.
Aw.
And in the morning, as long as he hears mine or John's voice, because they're a little bit deeper, or Tatum, because she's used to him, he'll usually just start coming down on his own. If that's not working, occasionally we'll just open a banana
Oh.
and just blow on it. That's
And
it.
he gets the scent.
He gets the scent.
Huh.
I'm like, when you can smell a banana from 2 stories,
Yeah.
you're doing good.
Yeah, I would think so. Can't see it, but I can smell it.
Oh yeah.
He's moving around a lot. The
Uh-huh.
last one, when we went to it, they usually stayed in a little cubby area.
Yeah.
And we were actually there, and they were like, "This never happens," because ours actually came
They
out,
came
walked
out.
across
Oh, that's
the thing.
They
Yeah,
switched. They had 2 houses, like they had this, but in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
They had a house on this side, house on that side, and branches all the way around both sides.
Oh, nice.
So they came out of their respective houses and went like this and switched.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
we got to watch them
Yeah.
and video them all the way. And they never did that. Never. So it's very rare.
we can go
So another cool thing that they have is they have 46 ribs, okay?
Oh, okay.
So again, that's a ridiculous amount of ribs, but what's really cool is all their internal organs are attached to each other and to the ribs with a connective tissue. In the wild, they fall to the tree probably once a week, because you gotta think, they don't have thumbs and they're trying to get the freshest leaves.
Okay.
So they go all the way out to the ends of these thin branches
Makes
and they're
sense.
grabbing them and they're pulling themselves to eat.
Oh.
So sometimes they make themselves fall, or they're on a branch that's okay for them. Maybe the harpy eagle lands on them to eat them, attack them, whatever, 'cause it's a huge eagle, right? Or a jaguar or some kind of cat like that is trying to get them. Then they both crash all the way to the ground. He's gonna survive because he's basically built like a tank.
Oh.
You know, like when we get in a car wreck, it's that secondary impact of all our organs moving around.
Mm.
So a 100-foot fall, if you didn't have everything already attached and secured, you would not be doing great.
Mhm.
So have that big fall, kind of look over the cat, laugh, head out.
He's good.
Yeah. He's like just doing some base jumping without a parachute.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's funny.
I know, bud. You're not gonna go in there with Zoe. So
Zoe in there.
she is, and he doesn't care at all about Zoe. He just wants to look around the room.
Really?
Yeah, and she'll be like, "Hey, can I touch you? Can I touch you?" And he's like, "No,
Nope.
I just want to see what this is."
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
They all have their own personalities.
Yeah, but because we don't pick Flash up, then we have to set a stick and let him get on the stick and then carry the stick.
Oh, so y'all don't hold him at all.
He was never even touched or fed by hand or any of that before here. If at some point he wants to crawl on me, I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure that he's comfortable with it.
Right.
Sloths have huge teeth, so that is why some places, horrible idea, I don't think they should do it, it's bad, they pull their teeth, right?
Aw.
Because they're taking animals that don't want to be held,
And they can be held.
right, and then they're taking away the
Oh.
defense. It's like declawing a cat, and you're like, I'm like, dude, that's like, ours, not Flash, but Zoe and Dash have been like since a baby being held and being fed by humans. So they're like, oh, okay, this person's gonna protect me.
Hello.
Flash, you are doing awesome today, man.
You did a good job.
You slept well. 3 days of rain at night. Did you guys stay here?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
Last
stayed
night.
in one of the wagons.
Oh, cool.
The
Did you get
bandwagon.
some of the rain on
No,
there?
it didn't
Oh,
rain
okay.
last night.
If it rains, I think it's the best sound ever.
Like being in a tent or a
Yeah.
camper with a tin roof.
And the Wi-Fi that I just installed should work down there. Just the passcode is just farm with capital F 2025.
Oh,
So setting up a network down there.
cool. Kind of unplugging from everything. We're keeping in touch a little bit, but just
Yeah. One
It's
guy
nice
told me,
to
he goes,
unplug.
the only reason I'm going to use that email is to tell my work I'm not coming back. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
It is very peaceful, and of course, we've been, not that we mind, but it's been pretty lucky because we're the only ones down
yeah,
there.
yeah. Thursday night's probably not real busy up here.
Yeah. As
Just the
in the
weekend.
next week, I think it starts to get like pretty much booked for the rest of the summer.
Mm,
Because everybody's school starts getting out, you know.
yep, yep.
So usually the encounters, do you end up having a lot in one day?
No.
Or just
Flash will do one more after this, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times when people ask, they're like, hey, there's no way I can make it here, I live wherever, what should I look for? And we always tell people, if you look at the animal's calendar, and you can pick any time, all day long, that means the sloth's doing too much.
Mm.
Like, if it's like every 15 minutes,
Right,
10
okay.
people can go in.
Right, yeah, he's not.
That's not their jam.
That's not.
That's the reason, like, even when we do the farm tour, we don't bring nobody comes in here for that. Like, if you want to see the sloth, you need to do a sloth
Yeah.
encounter.
That makes sense.
And we've even tried it, like, sometimes with field trips, because we have a ton of kids that come in this area, because it's like Dawsonville back in the day. Like,
yeah.
we weren't going to the
Ain't
Atlanta
nothing.
Zoo. Like, we didn't get to see nothing, you
Right,
know?
right.
So at least now for all these kids that live in Tellico and here and all that, they can come here.
See all kinds of animals.
And I think it's pretty cool, because, you know, in public school, they don't really get to hear about a lot of stuff. So when they come here, we can be like, this is created by God, you know? It's like this
Yes.
sloth moth. I was like, there's too much. The camels with the fat cells that expand and stuff, and you tell them all this stuff, and they're like, what? So,
Yeah, you
If-
can't be part of this and not believe in the creator because this stuff didn't just happen.
no. I was like, well, y'all have a lot of faith to believe that. I was like, I think that takes more faith.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Making a big
Right.
thing, creating all this stuff.
And we don't bag on anybody for
Oh,
that,
you put
but
him right to sleep.
All right. Got some food.
You got your belly full. Yeah.
so when he's holding himself like that, especially his claws or his fingers, that's his relaxed state. So
Oh.
he's set up opposite of us. So for him, relax is basically all folded in.
Okay.
So when he goes to release, he actually has to think and extend.
Oh, okay.
So people are like, how can he sit up there all day?
That's-
That's just what he's doing.
Mm.
That's how he's been designed.
And they always hang. Like,
Well, so what he'll do is he has a hammock up
Uh-huh.
there. He'll go sleep in the hammock, but he always takes one arm and still leaves it attached to something.
okay.
But we've also have a couple trees in there that are set up like in a three-prong
Uh-huh.
system. So that way he can kind of nest himself
Nestle.
between the three. And at the same time, he'll still leave his arm there.
Mm. Since
And
I'm done with y'all, I'm going to sleep.
Oh. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yes.
And when we go in here with Zoe here in a minute, you will see Baku the armadillo. And
You
the
know, those
reason
things are rampant now in the South, in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
those are the 7, 8, 9 banded that have the tail, right? So you see that little fin
Uh-huh.
with the tail. This is a 3-banded armadillo, which completely closes up in a full shell, like the tail's
Nice.
here and the head's here.
Oh.
And the
Hey,
reason
John, is it okay to move the llamas to dinner?
The reason that we have them is they are all part of the super order of Zathorans, so they all can call themselves up in a complete ball. So giant anteaters, sloths, and then that 3-banded armadillo.
Okay.
And then when you look at the claws on the front of the armadillo, they look exactly like his. They're identical.
Huh.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's weird seeing we see more armadillos dead on the side of the
Oh,
road
yeah.
It's
up there
crazy.
where we live than you do possums now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was so weird when I started seeing it because I rode by the first time I
What
saw it. I went,
is that?
that looks like an armadillo.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up
Sorry.
because I was like, I can't ever remember seeing armadillos. And I guess they said just because it's warm in the climate, they
Yep.
migrated up.
Exactly. And I bet I bet it jumped in somebody's truck back in the day. Or
Right.
someone grabbed a load of
Uh-huh.
something down in Florida.
It just
Yeah.
ended up kind of like the gators that moved up closer.
Do you remember Outside World that used to be
I want to
up
see this
there?
house.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I was the manager of that place. You remember the wave machine? that was
Yes,
in there?
and the canoe
Pool.
thing, the little pool.
Me and my dad built and designed that.
Oh, gosh.
Because I was like, we can make this. And the owner was like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's going to be the only one in the world and we're going to have wave machines. Like, how? And I was like, I'll design it and my dad can build it.
Oh,
Yeah,
crazy.
I just thought about that because I was like, Outside World.
Yep.
Hi. Hi.
He
Such
is
a
into
handsome
it
boy.
today.
Such a handsome boy. It is warm in here.
Yep, 75 to
You
80.
gotta have it tropical, don't you, baby? Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I didn't know about hot flashes, but I do now.
That's
It
right.
is hot in here.
Uh-huh.
And the reason we're not going to feed him anymore is he has an encounter at 10:30.
Yeah,
so
they
it's the
need
two
to
that
be
we
able to
do.
eat.
So we don't want to be like, well, there's a balled up wig over there.
Right.
Right.
That makes
Well, he
sense.
had slowed down there at the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah.
so.
And he'll kind of like go back and forth. Even sometimes he might not eat for the first 10 minutes and he'll look over and be like, okay, yeah.
Give me some more.
I think I want something.
He says, I want in that room. Let me out here. Well, you've been a very good boy for us. Yes, you have.
He's like, are you sure you don't want to give me one piece? Flash, if I give you any fruit, then you won't eat anything
What
else.
do you want, darling? What you want? What you want?
He will reach and pull it.
Oh.
So don't let him pull it to his
Oh.
mouth. There you
Is
go.
he'll chew my finger?
Yep.
He'll think it's
Like
food.
he honestly, what he will do is he will smell it and be like,
Oh, that ain't food.
that ain't food. But I never want like a mistake to happen.
Right. Because I'm sure that he could clamp down and hurt you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see his teeth. Are the bigger ones back in the back? Or
They're
they-
just like our canines. Oh wait, he opened his mouth. But they're huge. Like if he bit you, it would not be pleasant.
Ah.
Yeah, we found that most of these encounters, most of the stuff, like when we went to Yosemite, went to all those things, most of the issues is because people
People are
don't follow.
Oh yeah.
The-
People are
when we went
stupid.
when we went to the up there in someone around the same weekend we were there, I mean, it clearly says, do not get off the trail. Do
Oh,
not
yeah.
get-" Right? Clearly
You
it
got
says.
all these
What do you think happens? You see these people
bubbly's-
walking off the trail to take pictures and someone actually fell in one of those
fell in
pools
and
and just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like instantly.
Oh, they fell in one of like the
Yeah,
cool,
oh,
yeah.
I mean,
okay,
and they were gone instantly, like,
Right.
everything just is so hot, you know?
Uh-huh.
When I see people getting out around like a whole herd of bison, I'm like,
That too.
Right?
that's
It's
not a cow, bro.
not smart. Those are wild animals, not smart.
And
Oh,
we
let me
see
take a
it
selfie.
everywhere we go, especially when you have groups where like,
Uh-huh.
this, I guess you wouldn't have a group, but, you know, when we see it and they give the instructions, you're like, easy enough.
Yep.
But there's always those
Always that
people, man,
person.
that try to push it and you're like, you almost wanna say something yourself. You're
Uh-huh.
like, come
I
on.
I always say like, one or two people is kind of unpredictable, but you get a big enough group, it's
Oh, yeah.
predictable that there's gonna be one person to at least start this, and you're like, there it goes.
Yeah. And it's usually someone trying to show out
Yeah.
for everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check and see if the 10:30 is here,
Okay.
and then we will get started on. We will rotate into Zoe,
Okay.
and the next people will be out here.
Okay.
Don't put your fingers in the
Yep.
mouth. You're welcome to pet him, but just let's
We'll
keep
just
our
watch
fingers.
We'll just watch here.
I like his hangout in there. That's pretty cool. He's got a hammock.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Uh-huh. It is. Mm-hmm. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi. You sweet boy.
John will grab the 10:30 when they decide to make an appearance. I'm gonna put some of these things in here. But I have to do this quickly. I'll be right back
Okay,
out because
okay.
if not,
Yep.
Flash will be like,
Yep.
hey.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Hi, little beady eyes.
See, Armadillo too, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
Those things are fat little bugs. Big bugs, right?
Big bugs. That one's little compared to the ones we're seeing on the road in Dawsonville, though. That's crazy that he's from Dawsonville and knows all that stuff.
You didn't know the same people out there.
Uh-huh.
What's your chances? You usually
I
don't
know. Where's Dawsonville? He said, I'm from Dawsonville.
What lessons? You're blessed.
Yeah. Hey. Who's that?
All right. So this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna come right in and sit in the blue chair, and so
Okay.
you're gonna sit in the wooden one.
Okay, there's the little Armadillo.
There he is.
Just a little bug.
I'm gonna.
Oh, she's ready. Look at her. She's excited.
So when I place her down on you, she's gonna immediately put her arms around your neck. Hold on. You wanna have a earring? All right. And when you pet her, just really slow. run around, like, you have to be like, oh, yeah, yeah. She just. Sometimes it's a little hard to get her to switch sides. She's like. No, not insurance. Or physical harm. She's pretty gentle. If she ever pulls a little bit on your shoulder, all you do is lightly tap it. She's like, she's never trying to like pull on you aggressively. She just wants to. Definitely a little bit of jungle thing here, branches. We're gonna get another one named Shocker Farm. So that way we can have proper farm and shocker. Then we have some outside workout music for them. Gotta keep it light, right? Stairs and stuff like that. Flash.
She's watching him. What's he doing?
I think she knows that she's a movie star.
Are you a movie star?
Here you go, here's a little bit more.
Are you a movie star? Go.
And then we will switch about
Okay.
10-15 minutes in if you guys are switching. But sometimes there is a sloth enabler, so if he's the sloth enabler, that's up to y'all. No, we seriously have people that drive like 15 hours to get here.
Really?
And it's just one person that wants to hold the sloth.
Oh gosh.
But the sweetest thing ever was this guy. He was like a Vietnam vet. And I made the mistake of thinking it was for his wife. He's like, nope, I like sloths. I don't care what it does to me. And I was like, well, you're awesome because I've survived everything else. I want to see that sloth. And I was like, all right, man.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
that is
Yeah.
funny. Man, he likes your
I mean,
shoes.
yeah. I mean, it's something you don't get to do every day.
Right.
Yeah. And especially in the States.
Yeah, this is the first one you've even been able to get close, like, somewhat close.
Hey. Finish it up. You got some stuff here. You got it all over you? You got it all over you?
After that, we'll see if she just wants to snuggle with you.
Okay.
And if she just snuggles up, we'll do that. And if not, we'll give her some more food. But we're not trying to have a sloth that weighs 100 pounds.
Right.
Right.
That would be difficult.
Sloth.
Little fat sloth. And don't you can't eat my watch. Here.
Yeah, she's like, what is that? What she has been doing lately, though, is sometimes she just stays in that position in people's laps. And you can probably just set your hand off to the side, or she'll just keep licking it. And you can even wipe it on the chair if you want to, or
That
whatever.
armadillo's pretty cool too. He's got like a little shield on his head.
Maybe.
So when they come out, it basically looks like leather, and then it solidifies. So it's called his carapace,
Yeah.
and it's made of the same material as like your hair and nails, which is keratin.
Okay.
But it even has like little hair follicles growing out of it. But he is a mammal that has a shell. So it's pretty cool. And then when he balls all the way up, let's see if we can show him Baku.
Don't fall.
He sets a little trap for people, or predators. Because you can imagine, they'll be like, oh, I got it. And then they reach their finger or their tongue in, and he opens it and then smashes it shut. It's happened to John a couple
Complete
times.
ball, man.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it is, I was like, do you need help? He's like, you just have to sit there and relax. until they open back up. It's like a car door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they're pretty smart.
Look at that. Like he sealed, protects
She
somewhere
wants
in
the-
there.
Yeah. She just thinks it's something.
She wants it. Hi. Hey. I wish you'd look at me.
I'm gonna get her a little bit more food so then that way it's not a
Come here.
competition.
There comes your buddy. Hey, boy, you do have some teeth. Oops, I'm getting too close to you, ain't I? She don't like your hand up here.
Mhm.
Hey, just wanna cuddle? I wanna cuddle?
The mangrove's coming.
You're gonna be the food holder.
Oh, okay.
We like to delegate,
Oh,
make it a team effort.
oh. Oh, Mangrove's coming to the shower. I was more like, Mangrove's coming where? Oh. Hey, baby. Yeah.
And you can see like how she was coming out towards us as soon as we
Uh-huh.
were here.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I'm like trying to work on the cameras and make the feed or whatever, and I was like, oh, I could get this screw before she gets to me. Nope, she was on my back. And so then it's like getting a sloth off your back by yourself is
Right.
really exciting. It's like the slowest wrestling match ever known to man.
Oh my goodness, I bet. And I can see that's some big teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got some big teeth in there. That would have hurt. That would have hurt.
So if you just looked at their skeletal system, you would think it's the most fearsome predator in the world. You would just see this gangly creature with these huge claws and teeth, and then you're
Uh-huh.
like, what is this?
A sloth.
So my girlfriend's mom is like 100% Mexican, right? And to them, they call them oso, basically slow bears.
Slow bears?
Yeah, because they just are so slow in the trees. And in Costa Rica, sometimes they call them like slow bears also.
So
Oh.
it's rice, vegetables, and what is that, like a meat?
It's a little bit of a specialty dog food, and then also even rice.
She's licking me.
That's okay, but if she just starts to do it too much, just move your arm away.
Okay. Is she like salty? Is it
Anything
salty?
different. Sometimes during the winter when people would come in with like those puffy coats,
Uh-huh.
she would lose her biscuits because it was like such a weird texture and sound.
Huh.
Not in a bad way, she just was like, what is this?
As long as you don't start middling, we're good. You're a sweet girl. Do you want some more food? You got stuff on your nose. You need to clean it off. Whoop. Oh, want some more food?
Yeah, you could probably give her more.
All right, you gotta lean this way, baby.
Here, I think she's following the root. There you go, perfect, yep.
Here. Here. Which way you going with it? She's rolling around on the floor under there.
So after my grandparents had that restaurant, then they had it was called Save a Youth, and it was up on top of Amacola Falls, and they
Okay.
had like foster kids and stuff.
Yeah.
They would bring down to school, and people were like, "Where are these people coming from?" I was like, "My grandparents have a foster home on top of Amacola Falls."
Oh, how cool.
And it was past, where not Nimblewell Church, but the church is up on top of, I think it's Long Shoals or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was past that, you would go up, and now it's basically barricaded. But then you would turn to the left. It was really cool.
Oh, good girl. That's right, hug me. Hug me. Oh. Oh. Sweet girl. Yes, sweet girl.
Yeah, so if she's snuggled in like that, she's kind of just relaxing. And if you just say her name, she's trying to feel the vibrations.
Yes, sweet girl. Yes, sweet Zoe. Zoe. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can ever top this, baby. Alan cuddles great, but I don't know. There's something about you, Zoe.
She's a sweetheart.
No.
My girlfriend's a therapist, and we're debating her getting her animal certification to
Really?
do therapy with the sloths, because people get really chill. Go ahead and rotate your chin away from her. There you go. I just don't want to encourage it.
Yeah.
She's being sweet,
She
but
is being sweet. Oh, look. I didn't realize her little arm, that whole pad, looks like leather.
I say it's like God's crescent wrench, or like
Oh.
adjustable wrench, because that leather pad provides the friction, and then their claw can close on anything from tiny all the way to big.
Okay.
So she can even already lumberjack up and down this.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She's just comfortable. Does she ever encounter someone that she's just not comfortable with?
If someone is like just really amped up and won't sit still,
Oh, just chill.
we try to like, just bring the energy down and talk really slow and get them kind of that point. Because usually most people start to mimic her, but occasionally we have to take a little bit of a break
Yeah.
because people can't calm down.
And what's she doing?
She's just scratching.
Oh.
He's awake. He's sweet girl. He's sweet girl.
It's so odd that there would be an armadillo in here. Just odd. He's so fast.
Did you know any of the Gillans at
Mhm.
that time? Like, he was the superintendent for a while, Nikki Gillan.
Oh wait, that sounds.
Well, yeah, they've been around there, but yeah, he was the superintendent for a long time. I think either after or before Randall Townley was.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah. So I anyway, I didn't know if you knew them because Amanda and I work with her now.
Gotcha. What do you do?
So I work at a rheumatology office.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a porcupine.
Yes, and an African porcupine, so it will get huge. Will not be a small porcupine.
See it.
That one's only like a month or two old,
Oh.
maybe 3 months old, but it will get huge.
And when we do the animal tour, do you get to see all the animals except for like the sloth? I mean, but
Yeah, you get to see a bunch, and even so yesterday, and occasionally we do it, is we fly the macaws down the center of the barn.
Oh,
So we have scarlet macaws, and so one person stands on the other side and fly them, and then you're seeing like soul-clouded tortoises, the iguanas,
Cool.
hedgehogs, sugar gliders, micro squirrels, bearded dragons. Yeah. That's why I try to video a lot of it sometimes, because when I hear farm tour, I think I'm gonna see a goat.
right. Y'all got the special little cows up there we
Yeah.
saw.
Those are Scottish Highland cows,
Uh-huh,
and they're mini micros, and that's about as big as they'll ever get.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Which I always tell people, I'm like, that's the world's smallest hamburger.
Right? Exactly.
Oh, I bet they're tender.
I do want to, so they have like a farm Jeep, and I want to take the top off and roll through Chick-fil-A with those cute little white cows. I was like, Chick-fil-A will be like, you get all the free chicken
Right, all
sandwiches.
this free chicken. Well, maybe she'll hug you more than she hugged me. She's just content. She's, I think, just resting.
Do you remember Mr. Wesson? He was like a science teacher, real grumpy.
That name doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean,
I
you
never
were
had him.
like,
I had Curtons.
okay,
I had
Uh-huh.
Mr. and Mrs. Curton.
yeah,
And
they were very intelligent.
yeah, Mr. Wade.
Uh-huh.
Remember Mr. Wade?
Was that the librarian guy?
No, he was a math teacher, but he was like 6 foot, whatever. He was so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just passed not too long. That's the sad part is a lot of them are passing on, you know.
Yeah.
I remember Miss Paget. I
Yeah.
don't know if she was related because you mentioned Pagets, but I had her in like 3rd grade when I first moved down here. That's the first time I got a ruler to the back of the hand.
When I told people that we would get like hit with the crazy paddles
Right.
every day in school, they're like, "There's no way." I was like, "No, it was every day."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
He's
it was the most ridiculous thing.
I had to, for Miss Paget, had to hold my hand like this in front of the class, me and another boy, because we were talking, that was in 3rd grade, and she pulled us up to the front, and you held your hand like that, and she smacked it with her. Can you imagine them doing it nowadays?
It's crazy.
But you know what? No one said anything. None of the parents were like, good. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
not now.
No.
So at what I think I was like in 4th grade, and like after it happened so many times, I was like, "No, I'm not going to the office." They're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You guys are like beating me every day."
Right?
So I'm like running through the school. I was like, "No."
That's the craziest little
They
thing.
burrowers.
They do. And he backs it back in,
Ah.
and then a lot of times in the morning, or like when we do the
Under
farm
it.
tour, you have to come in and be like, "Where'd he go?" So see how he's scratching himself?
Uh-huh.
So since he's right there, you can try to probably scratch his shell if you do it real fast.
Oh,
You gotta,
no.
as soon as you touch, you gotta scratch it,
Oh,
and just keep going. There you
he
go.
does, he wiggles.
Yeah, and he'll flatten out and shake his booty.
Yeah.
He's super cute.
They move so fast when they move, it's like,
Uh-huh.
he just kinda like glides. He just does it.
So once he's full grown, he'll be able to run 30 miles an hour.
What?
I bet, cause he moseys
Yeah,
right
he
now.
I
does.
said that'll be the fastest russet potato on high hills I've ever seen.
How full grown does this get?
He should get close to the size of a soccer ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're so funny looking.
It is, he just kinda glides.
Right.
It just looks so weird
Cause you
watching him.
can't see his feet because
Yeah.
they're hidden by that little hanging down fur. Your turn?
Oh yeah, let's switch it up. Good call. Thank you for keeping us on track as we just run our mouths.
Yeah, no worries.
I want him to
Hey,
have a
sweetie.
turn. Oh, look at that. Isn't that sweet?
Come on. You gotta put a little effort. Please. And actually, you can stay right there. I think it'll be better for camera and everything.
Okay. Boy, that camera's getting warm.
Alright, you ready?
Yes.
Alright, no big earrings?
Yeah.
No, not today.
I'll take the glasses off.
And she'll just take a second to kind of get comfortable. And again, if she's pulling too tight on your shoulders, just lightly tap. Are you okay?
Mhm.
Long strokes in your rub. Oh.
And if she wants some of that food, feel free to feed her. She's like, did you say the food word?
Here, put a little bit in your hand. Oh. It's okay. Okay.
You alright?
Yeah, all right, there you go, she smells it.
And sometimes what I find is if you shift your hips a little bit forward so you're not as vertical. You see what I'm saying?
You like
So
that?
she can
Yeah.
just lounge.
Uh-huh. That's the reason a lot of times I use the blue chair, because it makes you kind of slump. But I figured you're alright.
Like slump.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh.
And she,
Why does he get all the cuddles?
because a lot of times she eats first. I'm sorry.
Pulls it right in, don't she?
She does.
You played that
She wants to
wrong.
be really close to you.
So sweet.
Sloth whisperer.
Right, you are the sloth whisperer.
And if she's doing that, she doesn't want any more food. You can just relax.
Okay.
Yeah. And now Zoe's gonna make me a liar.
Right.
She's like, nope, I heard it.
You want some more?
Just a little small. Okay.
Nope.
They don't smell like anything.
No.
No, they
Quick
don't.
whiff, no, I mean, clean, like you said, if you considering not bathed or anything and they just take care of their stuff, kinda like a cat, I guess, right?
And all I did is, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday when she used the bathroom, I just wiped the back of her off.
Yeah.
And I'm like hyper aware, like I go somewhere else, I'm like, I probably smell like soft poop, you know? But I'm like, no, everybody's like, no, don't really hardly smell anything. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Is that? And then, see, like, yeah, do it, it'll wiggle.
Try to do it.
You okay?
Mhm.
So sweet. Zoe, you are precious.
I'd say another cool animal that you will see on the tour is the sulcata tortoise. And the reason I think it's really cool is Steve Irwin, you guys remember the Australian guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The sulcata tortoise that he had used to be Charles Darwin's. And I don't agree with everything Darwin said, but I just still think it's cool that it's
Yeah.
the same tortoise that spanned like 100 and something years, you know? It made it to
That
like
is kind of
150.
bizarre, yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they live way up there, right?
Yeah, that one was like 150 years.
She's asleep. She had her food, she's ready to snuggle in and sleep.
Oh, yeah, she got a good grip,
Oh, bet.
like acupuncture.
And if it's a little tight, just lightly tap it with your finger,
Oh,
and she'll
like
just,
it.
like, right on the claw. There you go.
There you go. Is that loosen?
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, what about this one?
There you go.
Yeah.
She had a good grip.
Well, she's still got a good grip, didn't she? Tightened it right back
Yeah,
up.
she's poking it right in.
some people like to show up in tank tops to look cute and everything because it's hot, and I'm like,
Nah, cause you, like, it doesn't hurt per
It's
se,
just
but
like-
it's about another few PSI and you'd be
Yep.
like, good grief.
You might
You-
want to keep your voice down a little bit
Oh, yeah.
while you're holding her.
so that's what happened to me when I was messing with the cameras because she came up and like got her claw like around me, and it was like a nice, awesome scratch.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, I showed my girlfriend right away. I was like, "This is from the sloth," you know, because like you got these scratches
Right,
all over
right.
your
I
neck.
promise. Oh, yeah, she's sleeping good. Her little eyes are closed. Say Zoe. There we go.
So when Zoe was smaller, a lot of little kids would hold her.
Uh-huh.
But as she got to this size and really start pulling, we're like,
No, can't be
you
kids.
like kids as soon as they feel that.
They
the-
panic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason we use Dash, who's tiny, and he like barely any pressure. It feels like a lint on you, you know. Because Zoe's like not trying to hurt me. She's just like, I'm big and I want to hold on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see how a little kid.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. As soon as she passed like that 10-pound mark, I was
Uh-huh.
like, it can't be for little kids.
Or like they wouldn't know what to do if she was leaning back. They would just let her fall probably.
Well, she won't ever fall. She's only testing you. Like she will lean all the way back, but if she feels your hand back there, she's like, oh, okay,
They
you
got
got me.
me, but if you move it, she's
Yeah.
gonna, okay.
And so, see how she has her legs wrapped around?
Uh-huh.
She can still do a complete setup. Just holding, it's not gonna feel good to you because she's gonna be grabbing, but they can just extend all the way back up. As long as they
And
just have
hold on
one,
with their legs.
yep, as long as they
Okay.
have one limb holding on, they can spin and turn themselves.
Wow.
So one-legged pull-ups,
Huh.
that's what they're good at.
Talk to her, say her name's Zoe. Oh, see, she leans into you when you do that. Oh. Uh-huh.
She's doing some jujitsu on you or something. She's like got crossovers and everything.
What are you looking for, little fella?
So this dirt that I'm standing on, we bury grubs and little worms in there. That way you can go through like the same behavior as foraging.
Oh, good.
Here.
I want to change this, make it a little bit higher, make it a slide because it's hilarious when he comes down it because he still slides. And I was like, if it was like a little playground, that would be hilarious.
Uh-huh. It would be. Come here, be still. I could cuddle with one of those on a regular basis. Oh, she's holding on to you on the other side. That's sweet. Oh, that's a good picture. Look at your nose and hers.
Oh, she's got, yeah, the watch.
Go after
Yeah.
the watch.
Uh-huh.
She's like a different texture, different feel.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Oh, pull in here. She's trying to snuggle up closer to feel her.
Cuddly little thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, no, they're forcing him to cuddle. They don't like it. And I'm like,
Evidently
Now
she
you can
does.
tell she doesn't,
Hey,
she might take a little more food now.
hi.
Yeah, she's all about it. She's not
Oh, wait.
trying to avoid
Oh,
anything.
there you go. She says, I know that cuddles mean food too. Cuddles are good. He's drinking water.
I'm gonna check and see if I don't hear anybody out there. And then you guys have just some more time because then we're not pressed. You guys okay right there?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
good, good.
Be right back.
Zoe, look at her, see her teeth? You can see them good when she's eating like that. some more? Want some more? Yeah, I'll take some more.
Got her arm around it,
Yeah.
She's holding on.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Is she sliding through your legs?
Mm.
Yeah. This stuff's missing. Want some
Did
more?
that door make her move?
No.
Good.
No, she didn't.
To the cage.
Here, here. Got hungry all of a sudden. Hold my hand for you.
You wear a helmet in here.
Right?
I keep hearing me bumping your head. Hey, baby.
A lot of times I do it out there, especially if it's just like there's nobody else extra,
Mm-hmm.
because Flash hanging above you and feeding Flash at the same time as feeding her, I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Oh. It's almost gone. Get it all.
There's a little monkey on the shoulder out there. Got a little
That
monkey.
was so cute last night. We pulled in and somebody was up there at the house. It wasn't John,
Mm-hmm.
but it was somebody else, and he had that monkey on.
Probably
his-
Vlad, his son. So John and Donna have 5 kids of their own, and they adopted 5 from Ukraine, like pre-COVID,
Okay.
by a lot. So the other 5 that you hear the different accents,
Hmm.
they are all from Ukraine because they were.
This was an older dude though.
Oh well, I don't know then.
Yeah. But it wasn't John, because he was taller than John. What are
Mhm.
you doing, baby? Oh, you won't come back to me? No, you didn't.
She's like, "Do you have any more food?"
No, look, I'm scraping bottom here. Scraping bottom here.
Do you feel comfortable standing with her?
Sure.
Okay. So what we'll do, because there's 11 o'clock or 10:30 didn't show up, is we're gonna stand up and we're gonna go in here with Flash.
Okay.
And then you okay?
Yeah, but she's trying to eat my lunch and I don't wanna pull away from her real quickly. There we
Okay.
go.
So hold it like a baby.
Yeah, and once she'll kind of cuddle up, and as soon as she kind of gets a grip, and then you just kind of slowly stand up. And do you need any help standing up?
No, sir.
Okay. Go ahead and stand up, and then we'll just walk into here, and then we're gonna move outside kind of quickly, just so Flash doesn't come back in. We don't have to run or anything, but we're just gonna move out here.
Don't let the little critter out.
It's okay if you.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Perfect. Good job. Stay there, bud. Actually, go ahead and close the door. Let me, I'm just gonna shut these off.